Once upon a time, I wish in a far-off kingdom,
more than anything,
lived a fair maiden,
life,
a sad young lad.
more than jewels,
I wish, and a childless baker.
more than life,
I wish, with his wife,
more than anything, more than the moon.
I wish,
the king is giving a festival, more than life.
I wish to go to the festival,
more than riches.
And the ball.
I wish my cow would give us some milk, more than anything.
I wish we had a child.
I want a child.
I wish to go to the
festival.
I wish we might have a child.
I wish.
Into the woods, it's time to go. I hate to leave, I have to though. Into the woods, it's time, and so I must begin my journey. Into the woods and through the trees to where I am expected, ma'am. Into the woods to grandmother's house. Into the woods to grandmother's house. The way is clear, the light is good. I have no fear, nor no one should. The woods are just trees, the trees are just a wood. I sort of hate to ask it, but do you have a basket? Into the woods and down the dell, the path is straight, I know it well. Into the woods, and who can tell what's waiting on the journey? Into the woods to bring some bread to Granny, who is sick in bed. Never can tell what lies ahead, for all that I know, she's already dead. But into the woods, into the woods, into the woods, then out of the woods and home before dark. In the past, when your mother was with child, she developed an unusual appetite. She took one look at my beautiful garden and told your father that what she wanted more than anything in the world was greens, greens, and nothing but greens. Parsley, peppers, cabbages and celery, asparagus and watercress and fiddle ferns and lettuce. He said all right, but it wasn't quite, because I caught him in the autumn in my garden one night. He was robbing me, raping me, rooting through my rutabaga, raiding my irregular, and ripping up my rampion, my champion, my favourite. I should have laid a spell on him right there. Could have changed him into stone, or a dog, or a chair. But I let him have the rampion, I'd lots to spare. In return, however, I said, fair is fair. You can let me have the baby that your wife will bear, and we'll call it square. I thought I'd been more than reasonable. But how was I supposed to know what your father had also hidden inside his pocket? Beans. The special beans. I let him go, I didn't know he'd stolen my beans. I was watching him crawl back over the wall, then bang, crash, and the lightning flashed. And well, that's another story. Never mind. Anyway, at last the big day came, and I made my claim. Oh, don't take away the baby, they shrieked and screeched. But I did, and I hid her where she'll never be reached. And your father cried, and your mother died, when for extra measure I admit it was a pleasure. I said sorry, I'm still not mollified. And I laid a little spell on them. You too, son, that your family tree would always be a barren one. So, there's no more fuss and there's no more scenes, and my garden thrives. You should see my nectarines, but I'm telling you the same, I tell kings and queens, don't ever, never, ever mess around with my greens, especially the beans. You wish to have the curse reversed? I'll need a certain potion first. Go to the woods and bring me back 1. The cow as white as milk. 2. The cape as red as blood. 3. The hair as yellow as corn. 4. The slipper as pure as gold. Bring me these before the chime of midnight in 3 days' time, and you shall have, I guarantee, a child as perfect as child can be. Go to the wood. Into the woods without delay, be careful not to lose the way. Into the woods, who knows what may be lurking on the journey. Into the woods to get the thing that makes it worth the journeying. Into the woods to see the king, to sell the cow, to make the potion, to see, to sell, to get, to bring, to make, to lift, to go to the festival. Into the woods, into the woods, into the woods, then out of the woods, and home before dark. Just so, little girl, any path, so many worth exploring. Just one would be so boring, and look what you're ignoring. Think of those crisp, aging bones, then something fresh on the palate. Think of that scrumptious carnality twice in one day. There's no possible way to describe what you feel when you're talking to your meal. Mother said not to stray, still I suppose a small delay. Granny might like a fresh bouquet. Goodbye, Mr. Wolf. Goodbye, little girl. And hello. I guess this is goodbye, old pal. You've been a perfect friend. I hate to have to part, old pal. Someday I'll buy you back. I'll see you soon again. I hope that when I do, it won't be on a plate. If you know what you want, then you go and you find it and you get it. And you give and you take and you bid and you bargain, or you live to regret it. There are rights and wrongs and in-betweens. No one waits when fortune intervenes. And maybe they're really magic, who knows? Why you do what you do, that's the point. All the rest of it is chatter. If the thing you do is pure in intent, if it's meant and it's just a little bent, does it matter? No, what matters is that everyone tells tiny lies. What's important really is the size. Only 3 more tries and we'll have our prize. When the end's in sight you'll realise, when the end is right, it justifies the beans. Mother said, straight ahead, not to delay or be misled. I should have heeded her advice, but he seemed so nice. And he showed me things, many beautiful things, that I hadn't thought to explore. They were off my path, so I never had dared. I had been so careful, I never had cared. And he made me feel excited, well, excited and scared. And I know things now, many valuable things that I hadn't known before. Do not put your faith in a cape and a hood. They will not protect you the way that they should. And take extra care with strangers, even flowers have their dangers. And though scary is exciting, nice is different than good. Now I know, don't be scared, Granny is right, just be prepared. Isn't it nice to know a lot? And a little bit not. There are giants in the sky. There are big, tall, terrible giants in the sky. Only just when you made a friend and all, and you know she's big but you don't feel small, someone bigger than her comes along the hall to swallow you for lunch. And your heart is lead and your stomach stone, and you're really scared being all alone. And it's then that you long all the things you've known and the world you left and the little you own. The fun is done, you steal what you can and run. And you scramble down and you look below, and the world you know begins to grow. The roof, the house and your mother at the door. The roof, the house and the world you never thought to explore. And you think of all of the things you've seen, and you wish that you could live in between. And you're back again, only different than before. after the sky. There are giants in the sky. There are big, tall, terrible, awesome, scary, wonderful giants in the sky. Did I abuse her or show her disdain? Why does she run from me? If I should lose her, how shall I regain the heart she has won from me? Agony beyond power of speech, when the one thing you want is the only thing out of your reach. High in her tower she sits by the hour, maintaining her hair, blithe and becoming, and frequently humming a light-hearted air. Agony far more painful than yours, when you know she would go with you if there only were doors. Agony, oh the torture they teach. What's as intriguing or half so fatiguing as what's out of reach? Agony, though it's different for each. Always 10 steps behind, always 10 feet below, and she's just out of reach. Agony that can cut like a knife. I must have her to wife. It takes one to begin, but then once you've begun, it takes two of you. It's no fun, but what needs to be done you can do when there's two of you. If I dare, it's because I'm becoming aware of us as a pair, of us each accepting a share of what's there beyond woods, beyond witches and slippers and hoods. Just the two of us beyond lies, safe at home with our beautiful prize. Just the few of us. It takes trust, it takes just a bit more and we're done. We want 4, we had none, we've got 3, we need 1, it takes 2. What did I clearly say? Children must listen. What were you not to do? Children must see and learn. Why could you not obey? Children should listen. What have I been to you? What would you have me be? Handsome like a prince. But I am old, I am ugly, I embarrass you. You are ashamed of me. You are ashamed. You don't understand. Don't you know what's out there in the world? Someone has to shield you from the world. Stay with me. Princes wait there in the world, it's true. Princes, yes, but wolves and humans too. Stay at home, I am home. Who out there could love you more than I? What out there that I cannot supply? Stay with me. He's a very smart prince. He's a prince who prepares, knowing this time I'd run from him. He spread pitch on the stairs. I was caught unawares. And I thought, well, he cares. This is more than just malice. Better stop and take stock while you're standing here stuck on the steps of the palace. Better run along home and avoid the collision. Even though they don't care, you'd be better off there where there's nothing to choose, so there's nothing to lose. So you pry off your shoes, and then out of the blue, and without any guide, you know what your decision is, which is not to decide. You'll just leave him a clue, for example, a shoe, and then see what he'll do. Now it's he and not you who is stuck with a shoe, in a stew, in the goo, and you've learned something too, something you never knew. On the steps of the palace. And it came to pass, all that seemed wrong was now right, and those who deserved to were certain to live a long and happy life. Ever after, journey over, all is mended, and it's not just for today, but tomorrow, and extended, ever after. All the curses have been ended, the reverse is wiped away, all is tenderness and laughter, for forever after. Happy now and happy hence and happy ever after. To be happy and forever, you must see your wish come true. Don't be careful, don't be clever, when you see your wish pursue. It's a dangerous endeavour, but the only thing to do. Though it's fearful, though it's deep, though it's dark, and though you may lose the path they may come to wolves. Though it's deep, though it's dark, and though you may lose the path they may come to wolves. Though it's deep, though it's dark, and though you may lose the path they may come to wolves. If you want your wish, you can have your wish, but you can't just wish. No, to get your wish, you go into the woods where nothing's clear, where witches, ghosts, and wolves appear. Into the woods and through the fear, you have to take the journey. Into the woods and down the dell, in vain perhaps, but who can tell? Into the woods to lift the spell, into the woods to lose the longing, into the woods to have the child, to wed the prince, to get the money, to save the house, to kill the wolf, to find the father, to conquer the kingdom, to have, to wed, to get, to save, to kill, to keep, to go to the festival. Into the woods, into the woods, into the woods, then out of the woods, and happy ever after. This was just a moment in the woods, our moment shimmering and lovely and sad. Leave the moment, just be glad for the moment that we had. Every moment is of moment when you're in the woods. What was that? Was that me? Was that him? Did a prince really kiss me? And kiss me? And kiss me? And did I kiss him back? Was it wrong? Am I mad? Is that all? Does he miss me? Was he suddenly getting bored with me? Wake up. Stop dreaming. Stop prancing about the woods. It's not beseeming. What is it about the woods? Back to life, back to sense, back to child, back to husband. You can't live in the woods. There are vows, there are ties, there are needs, there are standards, there are shouldn'ts and shoulds. Why not both instead? There's the answer, if you're clever. Have a child for warmth, and a baker for bread, and a prince for whatever. Never is these woods. First a witch, then a child, then a prince, then a moment who can live in the woods. And to get what you wish only just for a moment, these are dangerous woods. Let the moment go, don't forget it for a moment though. Just remembering you've had an and you're back to or makes the or mean more than it did before. Now I understand, and it's time to leave the woods. But it isn't my fault. I was given those beans. You persuaded me to trade away my cow for beans, and without those beans, there'd be no stalk to get up to the giant in the first place. Wait a minute, Magic. Beans for a cow so old that you had to tell a lie to sell it, which you told. Were they worthless beans? Were they oversold? Oh, and tell us who persuaded you to steal that gold. See, it's your fault.
No.
So it's your fault.
No.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
It's true.
Wait a minute, but I only stole the gold to get my cow back from you.
So it's your fault.
Yes.
No, it isn't. I'd have kept those beans, but our house was cursed. She made us get the cow to get the curse reversed. It's your father's fault that the curse got placed and the place got cursed in the first place.
It's the last midnight. It's the last wish. It's the last midnight. Soon it will be boom, squish. Told a little lie, stole a little gold, broke a little vow. Did you? Had to get your prince, had to get your cow, have to get your wish, doesn't matter how, anyway it doesn't matter now. It's the last midnight, it's the boom splat. Nothing but a vast midnight, everybody smashed flat. Here you want a bean, have another bean. Beans were made for making you rich. Plant them and they soar. Here you want some more. Listen to the roar, giants by the score. Oh well, you can blame another witch. It's the last midnight. It's the last verse. Now before it's past midnight, I'm leaving you my last curse. I'm leaving you alone. You can tend the garden, it's yours, separate and alone. Everybody down on all fours. Alright, mother, when? Lost the beans again. Punish me the way you did then. Give me claws and a hunch, just away from this bunch, and the gloom, and the doom, and the boom. Crunch! No more questions, please. No more quests. Comes the day you say what for. Please no more. We disappoint, we disappear, we die but we don't. They disappoint in turn, I fear, forgive though they won't. No more riddles. No more jests. No more curses you can't undo, left by fathers you never knew. No more quests, no more feelings. Time to shut the door. Just no more. Running away, let's do it. Free from the ties that bind. No more despair or burdens to bear out there in the yonder. Running away, go to it. Where did you have in mind? Have to take care, unless there's a where. You'll only be wandering blind. Just more questions, different kind. No more giants waging war. Can't we just pursue our lives with our children and our wives? till that happy day arrives. How do you ignore all the witches, all the curses, all the wolves, all the lies, the false hopes, the goodbyes, the reverses, all the wondering what even worse is still in store? All the children, all the giants, no more. Mother cannot guide you. Now you're on your own. Only me beside you. Still you're not alone. No one is alone. Truly, no one is alone. Sometimes people leave you halfway through the wood. Others may deceive you. You decide what's good. You decide alone. But no one is alone. Careful the things you say, children will listen. Careful the things you do, children will see and learn. Guide them along the way, children will glisten. Children will look to you for which way to turn, to learn what to be. Careful before you say, listen to me. Children will listen. Careful the wish you make. Wishes are children. Careful the path they take. Wishes come true, not free. Careful the spell you cast, not just on children. Sometimes the spell may last past what you can see and turn against you. Careful the tale you tell, that is the spell. Children will listen, though it's fearful, though it's deep, though it's dark, though you may lose the path, though you may encounter wolves. Though it's deep, though it's dark, though you may lose the path, though you may encounter wolves. Listen, though it's deep, though it's dark, though you may lose the path. Think there are always wolves, there are always spells, there are always beams, or a giant dwells there. So into the woods you go again. You have to every now and then. Into the woods, no telling when. Be ready for the journey. Into the woods, but not too fast, or what you wish you lose at last. Into the woods, but mind the past. Into the woods, but mind the future. Into the woods, but not to stray, or tempt the wolf, or steal from the giant. The way is dark, the light is dim, but now there's you, me, her and him. The chances look small, the choices look grim, but everything you learn there will help when you return there. The light is getting dimmer, I think I see a glimmer. Into the woods you have to grope, but that's the way you learn to cope. Into the woods to find there's hope of getting through the journey.
Into the woods each time you go, there's more to learn of what you know. Into the woods but not too slow. Into the woods, it's nearing midnight. Into the woods to mind the wolf, to heed the witch, to honour the giant, to mind, to heed, to find, to think, to teach, to join, to go to the festival. Into the woods, into the woods, into the woods, then out of the woods. And happy ever after, I wish.